One of the most powerful things that you can do to accelerate your own growth in the OnlyFans management game is to set goals. If you do not set goals, then you are doomed to wander endlessly through your OFM journey, never arriving anywhere because you never decided where you want to arrive in the first place. However, if you set a goal, even something vague, just even say, I want to make this much, or I want to go over there, and I want to do this thing, and I want to have this thing in my business. Set a goal, and you will naturally be drawn towards it because that's just how your brain works. So in this video, I'm going to give you a 5-step process for how to set goals in OnlyFans management so that you can make more money. And then when they interview you on TV and they're like, how did you become so successful? You will refer to this video, which will have like 238 views, and be like, there was this guy. Okay, number one, the first step of setting goals in OFM, what I would recommend is to just do what I call a brain dump, right? Sit down, pull out a piece of paper, write down all the shit that comes to mind. Oh, I want a Lambo. I want a fucking whatever. I want this. I want that. I want, who cares? Now, what I would recommend, what I think would be most effective, or what I found to be most effective, was to set my goal in terms of metrics. Not like they say there's 3 types of goals: be, do, and have. In the case of OFM, I guess you can apply, I guess it's really have, if we want to think about it like that. It's not be, and it's not do. It's more like have. Well, I could just talk about myself, I guess. So I set a goal for myself. Once I started hiring and training chatters and it started to go well, I was like, okay, let me set a goal for myself. I was like, I want 8 chatters who are good, who I know every day they're going to sell for at least X amount. I don't need to fucking ride them. I don't need to, manage them too much. I don't need to review their chats to make sure they're doing it right. They're good. Everything's good. I was like, I want 8. Now, I got to 4 pretty quickly. 5 took me a long time. And that's it, period. I don't have 6, I don't have 7, and I don't have 8. I'm looking for 6, 7, and 8. But the fact that I said I want 8 and I still don't have 8, it's driving me to keep going for 8, right? It has nothing really to do with money. I mean, I have enough money to do pretty much, I don't want to say anything I want, but like, I don't want to do a lot, to be fair. Like, I want to go to the gym, I want to eat food, and I want to, I guess really that's it, honestly. The normal stuff. I'm not like, yeah, of course it would be nice to go and travel, but like, it would be cool to have a Lambo. I don't really want a Lambo. It would be cool, I guess, to live in an apartment that's probably twice as expensive as this one. My lease is up. But I don't know if I want to stay in Miami. That's another story for another time. Anyway, the point is that what I would recommend when you are doing your brain dump is to focus on goals that have to do with the actual agency themselves. Don't say I want a Lambo. Don't say I want a fucking house. Don't say I want this or I want that. What I would recommend is to set them in terms of metrics, not necessarily like the thing you want to buy with the money that you make from the agency. That just didn't work for me. Maybe because I didn't ever really want those things anyway. But what works a lot better for me, like right now I have 2 main goals. Number 1, 100K in a month revenue. And the second one is 8 good chatters, right? And once I hit one of those, like I will accomplish both of those at the same time. Probably. Maybe one a little bit before the other. But if I have 8 good chatters that are selling for what I expect them to sell for every single day, I will do 100K in a month. And if I've done 100K in a month, then I will have, probably 8 chatters, or at least 6 or 7. Let's see. At least, yeah, I would say 7. So like, what's the difference between 7 and 8? Not that much. So those are my current goals, and those are really what's like driving me. That's what works for me. Maybe that's not the thing for you. Maybe you like want to take a trip somewhere, or I guess it's really those 2, and it's have enough money so that I can pay my rent, or pay my rent obviously, and pay my parents' rent so that I don't have to like live with them because we're both too poor to pay 2 rents. Because I couldn't put them in a fucking government facility. I just couldn't do it. And I really don't want to go back to selling hair straighteners, I'll tell you that. So the second step on setting goals for OnlyFans management is to look at your brain dump, look at the entire list, and pick between 1 and 3 of them that call out to you the most. So whatever it is for you, everybody who, does this, you're going to be at a different stage in your development. Maybe you're just starting out and you don't have a model and you're like, okay, I want to get one model by the end of the week. It's a very small goal. It's achievable, but it's a small goal. Maybe you've got two models and things are going well and everything is all set up and you're making money and whatever. You have one chatter or two chatters, everything is good. And then you could say, I want to double what I'm doing right now. Okay, well, that's a different goal. So then I guess probably a good idea to define that. You would say, I want two chatters, or let's say it's 2 and 2. I want 4 chatters total. I want 4 models total. And I want to double, whatever I'm doing on social media to get this fucking traffic. So whatever it is, pick between 1 and 3. And the reason I say between 1 and 3 is because you don't want to have 10 things. If you have 10 things, you're not going to accomplish all of them anyway, right? You're not going to do it in a reasonable enough time frame, especially if they're sizable goals, right? That was my mistake. I don't know if you guys remember the videos that I made before where I was talking about my goals on my last channel, but they were all so fucking extravagant. Like I should have just picked one, but I was like, oh, I want to be a paid speaker and I want to fucking have a content house and I want to fucking make $50,000 a month with my agency and like all this stuff. And it's, it's not a bad thing to want those. I'm allowed to want whatever I want, but it was unproductive for me, inefficient use of my brain power to say that I want all of those things. And those are all my goals. And I need to work on all of them to achieve them. That's just not going to happen. Or it definitely wasn't going to happen for me with the resources that I had available to myself back then. I didn't have any VAs. I didn't have any it was just like dreams in my head. So pick between 1 and 3, depending on where you're at. And they can be synergistic, like what I said about, I want 8 chatters and I want to do 100K a month. Those are synergistic, right? Those are not things that I'm going to have to devote some of my attention here and devote some of my attention here. If you say to yourself, for example, I want 10 models and I also want, I want, whatever, this girl's account to reach 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's like those might conflict in some way. There's maybe a little bit of overlap, but it's not 100% overlap. So anyway, just pick things that align with one another and stick to between 1 and 3 goals. Number 3, set a time frame for the achievement of the goal. So really set a deadline. Okay. You say to yourself, I want to, and this is one thing that I did for the monetary goal, the revenue goal of 100K. I said, I want to do it in September. I don't think we'll hit it, to be honest with you. I would love to be proven wrong. I would absolutely love to be proven wrong. I might be proven wrong, but we hit a couple snags in the beginning of the month and it slowed things down. And I don't know. I would love it if that was the case, but it is what it is. But I still have the goal. I still have that in mind. I'm still like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to have happen. And that is pulling me towards the achievement of that happening. When it comes to having 8 chatters, I didn't set a deadline for that. I was just like, I want 8. And when I get 8, I'm going to what I really said was I'm going to, go on a little trip and travel somewhere. And here's what I really want to do. I think this would be cool. A little tangent here, but it'll be brief. What I want to do is I want to identify, let's say 10 people in the OFM world who I think are really smart and successful and that I could learn something from. And I want to literally fly to their city and meet them and, go watch them work for 2 or 3 days. And I don't pay them or something. But I'm super down for that. And that's definitely on the list for, I don't know, let's say 8 chatters by, what is it? It's middle of September. Let's say the end of November. So I have 48 days. 48 days to get 3 more chatters. I mean, come on. If I can't get fucking 3 chatters in 48 days, there's got to be something wrong with me. So 3 more chatters in 48 days, that's the goal. Now, by doing that, what I've done is I've turned it from this wishy-washy, I want this thing someday, I hope it happens someday, to now it's okay, I have this thing that I need to accomplish. It needs to be accomplished by this time. And that is just how it is. So now not only am I being drawn towards that thing that I want, but now there's additional pressure on me to achieve it by a certain deadline, which is going to force you to work harder. I think some fucking whatever corporate slogan where not a slogan, but like they say that time. No, is it the basically if you have a long time to work on something, you'll take all the time, and if you don't have a long time to work on something, then you'll do it faster. So, why don't I set the? How about this? Let's do the end of October. Why not? Fuck it. 18 days. 18 days to hire 3 more chatters. Even just saying that, but the difference between 48 and 18 days. Now that I've said 18, I'm like, well, shit. The thought that ran through my head was like, well, damn, okay, maybe I better fucking go like look through those applications one more time. Let's check the chats and see, who responded, who's good, who might have a chance. So set a time frame and set it shorter. I guess the lesson here is set it shorter than you think is reasonable. Number 4, write it on a piece of paper and or tell everyone about it. So I made a video about setting goals, why I make my chatters set goals, and I also set goals with them. And what I did is I had all of us fill out a Google form, and it populated a spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet, anybody could see the spreadsheet, and everybody can look at everybody else's goals. So in effect, they all told everybody their goals. I told them my goals. And it's not about flexing on each other, like, oh, I want this, and your goal's not as big as mine. It's not about that. It's about speaking it into the universe and saying, I want this. This is what I want. And you are on record as having witnessed me saying that. So now, because I don't want to look like a little bitch in front of you, I'm going to work harder to achieve that. All right. All of these things, the reason for them is to just make it so that it's more likely that you actually achieve your goal. Now, I wrote this on a piece of paper as well. I wrote it by hand, and I fucking put the piece of paper over there on my table. I haven't looked at it in a while. So I should probably go look at it. I literally wrote it down and took a picture of it. I made them all write it out by hand and take a picture of it and post a link to it also in the spreadsheet. And then I did that, and like I literally haven't looked at it. It's been almost 2 weeks. But I should. And that's the next thing, right? The final point is refer to it often. Or what I should say, the best way to do this, what I've heard works the best, is you read it out loud to yourself every day. This is I took a dating, not like, it was like a dating coaching program. And this is one of the things that they had us do. And I didn't do it then either, but like I should have, definitely should have. But basically what you had to do is you had to write out your whole little like goal thing. And theirs was all scripted. I think I scripted mine too, actually. But anyway, it was like, oh, I hereby promise to do this and that by this time frame and blah, blah, blah. And they told us, they're like, okay, every single day, keep it in your wallet, right? Keep it, I think it was on an index card. Keep the index card in your wallet, pull it out every day, read it in the morning, read it to yourself in the mirror, read it before you go to bed. And bottom line, that shit is fucking true. Like if you do that, if 2 identical people, one of them writes their fucking goals on an index card and reads it out loud to themselves 5 times a day, compared to somebody who doesn't do that, who do you think has a higher likelihood of achieving the goal? Obviously the first guy. So why wouldn't you do that if you're serious about the goal? Oh, you have to fucking read something 5 times a day. Well, how long does that take? A minute? You're not going to do an extra 5 minutes of work to vastly, drastically increase the likelihood that you're actually going to achieve what you want. Just seems silly. Hopefully I'll do it. No, I will. Oh, and then I should have said this in the beginning of the video. What I've wanted to do for a long time is like a goal setting workshop for OFM people. Would any of you be interested in that? I know I'm kind of limiting myself here to the people who watched my entire rambling video, but if you are interested in that, let me know. Drop me a comment. I think it would be useful, and nobody's doing it. There's doesn't exist anywhere. So let me know if you'd be interested in that. I may put it together. Otherwise, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.